Namaste everybody, Lizzie Brooks here, and this is how to find the best yoga mat. So it's how to find the best yoga mat for you uniquely, and there are different preferences of course, but there are some guidelines that sort of have to be there for it to be a good yoga mat overall. And the first is, I think, price. So yoga mats are not cheap. While you can find cheaper yoga mats at Walmart, Target, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, all of these kind of stores, generally they aren't going to be the top quality. Now, I'm not saying you won't find one there, but a lot of times they are not the quality that gives you the better grip. And most times, if you care about something like sustainability or using natural rubber or things like that, you generally won't find those materials and those practices at those type of discount stores. In a pinch, if you need a yoga mat, absolutely head to one of those stores. In fact, Jojo, my puppy, is on that mat. It works. I'll show you. It works. Get in the shot here, Joe. These yoga mats work great for puppies. In fact, if you're doing yoga and your dog is all over your mat, grab one of these discount mats and give it to your dog. So your dog has their very own mat and they can veg out on there while you are doing your yoga. So I'm so sorry, Joe, I have to show them. Oh, I'm so mean. I want to show you what these are like. So a lot of the ones that you'll find at these stores, if you can see, they're kind of made with these big bubbly, and if you look, if I press on here, I can, well, it's not really staying, but I can really make an indentation for a while. And here you can see this has been worn quite a lot. So these things actually don't hold up very well, and these little, they almost look like little corn cobs. They break out. These are soft and they're light, and I like that, but they don't have very good grip. So I find myself slipping on these a lot. And again, the materials are generally not as good for ourselves or the earth. So if you're going to just need something real cheap, you're just gonna do a one yoga practice, that's fine. If you want something that you wanna invest in, then you might go up a little bit in price or a lot in price. But if you look at a yoga mat like a good pair of running shoes, you wouldn't go running in flip-flops or a really crummy pair of shoes. You're gonna have a better running experience if the shoes are better for your feet. It's the same way with a yoga mat. You can have a really crummy practice if you're battling with that mat and you're sliding and it's not adhering to the floor. Not just you adhering to the mat, but the mat adhering to the floor. That can also slide too, and that can cause all sorts of problems. So you can find mats all the way from, better mats all the way from around $60 all the way up past $100, $150. I wouldn't necessarily go to that end. I'm going to talk to you about 3 different brands, and they all have different yoga mats, and all 3 of them you can find a sustainable version, and I think all 3 of them also have a natural rubber version. Yes, so, and then they have different ones, travel mats, ones with more cushion, ones with less cushion, different lengths, so that's all up to you. But my very, very favorite is the Jade Harmony yoga mat. I am not sponsored by them. They have no idea who I am, but I'm gonna show you my little, I just got this new one. That's their little thing. But I wanna show you the difference. Do you see that small grip? This is a really firm mat, and this really is anti-slip. So this has a lot of grip, and I love that. Also, this was, I think, $79, and the rubber on this Jade Harmony mat is from rubber trees. It's natural. I feel much better about that. And the thing is with a lot of these mats, they off-gas a little smell. So even though the Jade Harmony is a natural rubber, it still kind of smells like rubber. So what you need to do with any yoga mat that's off-gassing any smell, whether it's natural or not, is leave it open in a room that you're not in very often, and then that will off-gas, and then you'll or off-smelled, and then it won't smell as much over time. Do not put your yoga mat in the sun. Do not leave it in the car. That will, it's almost like tires, right? So it's rubber. So over time, that stickiness, that real pliable rubberiness will get hard and dry and cracky, and then you'll be slipping on it and you'll lose all of that. So no sunshine with those mats. There are other mats like this. This is an older Lululemon mat, and I loved it because it had a texture and it was a really good grip. Currently, the Lululemon mats that I've been looking at either have more of a fabric-y top, which I think you can spray with a water bottle, say Ashtanga yoga, that kind of helps be anti-slip, or they're rubber, but they have a slick surface. If you love the feeling of a slick surface, it still is grippy, but it's smooth. I should say smooth, not slick. If you like a smooth surface feeling, then maybe doing one of the eco-friendly Lululemon mats might be up to you. Of course, I'm not covering all the yoga mats. There are tons of them, but the other one I want to talk about is Manduka. So Manduka is pretty pricey. It's very heavy. It's also very dense, which is good. If you look for, some of these have a closed cell technology. So if hygiene is really important to you and you don't want kind of the sweat and the bacteria, especially if you sweat a lot, to get into the actual mat, look for a closed cell technology to help keep that out. Also, some of the mats are treated, so you might want to look into that, whether or not your particular mat is treated with an antibacterial quality. If that matters to you, if you don't want that, you should know. So we've talked about, you want to check with price, then you want to check with if it's grippy enough. If it's not, if you're sliding around on that, especially if you sweat a lot, it's not going to be a fun practice. Is it environmentally friendly? Does that matter to you? Do they use sustainable practices? And then the hygiene, do you want a closed cell technology, something like that? So these are things to ask yourself, and I hope that you find the perfect yoga mat for you. If you can borrow from a friend first and give it a good try, just to see how it really works for you before you pay the money, if you can. If you have any questions, comment down below. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Namaste.